Hello there, boxing fans around the world. Thank you once again for joining me on Talkin Fight for today's news and headlines from around the world. And believe me, we are going around the world today, courtesy of our friends at Boxing 247 across the pond. Let me start off by saying we have an upcoming fight featuring, from the old days, one of my favorites, Evander Holyfield, who's going to tackle Vitor Belfort, who stepped in because Oscar De La Hoya came down with COVID. It's interesting. He's come up with a few pretty good comments, mainly targeted at, I would say, younger folk who are interested in boxing and escalating their careers. Um, Evander says, I've been training for over 2 years because there were fights mentioned against other fighters. I realize now, as I prepare to face Belfort, I'm in good shape and I don't get out of shape. It's not so much that I miss it, but people always ask about Mike Tyson and I fighting. They've offered so much money that I would definitely take a chance against someone I've already beat. So a nice comment from Evander Holyfield, and he's going to be fighting on a pretty decent card. So it'll be interesting to see how that all turns out. Um, I'm not so much into the veterans fighting, but speaking of Evander Holyfield, I thought I'd mention another fight coming up featuring WBO junior lightweight world champion Jamel Semper Fi Herring and undefeated former featherweight world champion Shakur Stevenson, who have trained together and share many of the same traits. Sometimes friends make the best enemies. Herring will defend his world title against Stevenson on Saturday, October 23rd, at the award-winning State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. One of the year's most anticipated fight cards will also include the return of middleweight prospect Nico Ali Walsh, grandson of the greatest, Muhammad Ali, who turned pro in August with a first-round knockout. The undercard will see the return of Olympian Troy Isley, who's 2-0 with one knockout and a six-rounder at middleweight. Georgia native Haven Brady Jr., who we featured on Talking Fight before, who's 3-0 with three knockouts in a four-round featherweight tilt. And the A-Town debut of junior middleweight prospect Evan Young Holyfield, who's 7-0 with five knockouts. He's an Atlanta native and the son of heavyweight Evander Holyfield. So I thought I'd mention that upcoming fight. It sounds to be, it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. In other card news, we see that the weights for Friday nights, that'd be tonight's fight, put on by King's Promotions down in Philadelphia, have been announced. Greg Outlaw will be up against Edgar Torres. Christian Carto is going up against Houston Vargas. Elijah Morales is going toe-to-toe against Kevin Davila. Kashom Hutchinson is going against Andre Bird. Liana Cruz is up against Deanna Bailey. Julian Gonzalez will be fighting Ronnie Arana. And Quadir Albright will be up against Humberto Camarino Jr. Again, that's at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. So it looks to be a great card. Looking forward to seeing that one as well. Again, that's happening tonight, September 10th. As I said, going around the world, the Championships Committee of the WBA has summoned the purse bid of the super welterweight eliminator bout between Frenchman Michel Soro, who's the gold champion, and Uzbekistan's Israel Madrimov, who's the mandatory challenger for next Monday, September 20th. All the parties involved received the official information. The bidding will take place via Zoom at 10 a.m. Panama time and will be directed by Carlos Chavez, who is the president of the Championships Committee. The purse split will be 50% for each of the fighters, while the minimum amount to participate for the rights to promote the fight will be, in U.S. funds, $110,000. Soro and Madrimov are two fighters with a lot of quality who want to conquer the world title in the short term, and the fight will be an opportunity to reach their goal, says our writers over Boxing 247. From down under, we have some news from Andrew Maloney's camp. Andrew Maloney is already eyeing another showdown for the world title as he sets his sights on Japanese legend Kazuto Ioka. Ioka recently made another successful blank of his WBO world crown, which is his fourth defense of the belt that made him the four-weight world champion. Ioka was made to work for his victory against the very game Mexican Francisco Rodriguez Jr. Maloney gave his thoughts on Ioka's defense and weighed in on the potential clash between the pair. And I quote Maloney, "I've watched the Ioka fight and thought it was a close fight. I thought Rodriguez started the fight well, but Ioka finished stronger and was landing the cleaner punches to the last half of the fight. I would absolutely love the opportunity to fight Ioka. Ioka is a legend of the lighter weights, a 4-division world champion, and a future Hall of Famer. But it's a fight I truly believe I can win. I really hope we can make this fight happen as soon as possible." So there's someone who's not backing down and who's looking for a decent challenge. Look forward to hearing news about that fight. In other challenges, Tommy Frank will face a rejuvenated opponent in Matt Windle, but will still have enough to beat the Brummy Battler, believes trainer Glenn Rhodes. And this is a fight that's to take place in Sheffield Ponds Forge Arena in Sheffield, England, on the 18th of September. It's in a fight that British boxing fans are really looking forward to. Frank and Windell will clash for the British flyweight title, as I said, on September 18th at Sheffield's Ponds Forge Arena. The contest is chief support to heavyweight Callie Ash, a good friend of Tim Witherspoon, who we hope is doing well and recuperating in hospital as he's having a bit of complications due to pneumonia. So anyway, his friend Callie Ash is defending his International Boxing Federation European title against big-hitting German Roman Gorst, who's 7-1 with 6 knockouts. And all that action will be broadcast on Fight Zone. I thought I'd end up today's newscast with a bit of follow-up to our friends again, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury and Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, who are continuing their long-running rivalry and have added a few more comments, which I look forward to sharing with you. Says Fury, "I'm going to knock Deontay Wilder's spark out, and it's going to be even quicker than our last fight." As we all know, Fury stopped Wilder in their second fight in February 2020 to capture the WBC title. He continues, "If he couldn't beat me after 3 years out of the ring and 10-stone weight loss, he's never beaten me. None of them will. They're just hyped up bums, all of them. Wilder, Joshua, Usyk, they're all bums. Compared to me, they're no good." All right, well, that's followed up by Wilder, who says, "Hopefully, Fury is confident enough to go through with this fight because I'm going to be a reinvented Deontay Wilder on October 9th. And he successfully defended his heavyweight title 10 times before losing to Fury." He continues, "This training camp has rejuvenated me. It's refreshed me. The key to victory in this fight is having a violent mind, but approaching it with calmness. I have all the right people around me, and we're looking forward to October 9th. I just hope Fury is ready to put on a show for the fans and make history once again." Fair enough. And as I said, we all look forward to that fight. And once again, that's all the news fit to print. I thank you for joining me. And please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to remind you when I'm coming up next. Thanks again. We'll see you on Monday. Actually, later tonight.